Hello and welcome to another episode of the conversion of Granny Grumman. In this episode, I'm going to be removing and replacing the original wiring harness. After 48 years of hack jobs and wear, there's just no reason to try and bring this old harness back to life. If this were a modern vehicle, I would definitely recommend purchasing the original wiring harness, but since this vehicle is from the era where everything is very simple, I'm just going to go ahead and hand wire everything on my own. After salvaging what wire I deem to be good enough to reuse, I'll warm up my Weller soldering iron, then begin connecting all the wires to the rear lights and running them along the van. Bear in mind that when you're soldering wires together, it's only meant to create a better connection. Be sure to twist your wires together in a way that creates a secure and firm connection. Once I finish soldering the wires together, I'll use a piece of shrink tube to insulate it so we don't get any dead shorts. And finally, I'll begin running the wire along the van. After that, it's simply repeating this process for every single light. Now that the wiring for the rear lights has been run, I'll begin removing the engine wiring harness as well as the wiring harness that goes to the front lights. And now I'll remove all the old wiring that's located underneath the dashboard. The next step is harvesting all the specialty connectors that connect to the turn signal switch, the ignition switch, and so on. The next step is to wrap all the wires in this split loom tube just to give them a little extra protection against sharp edges when the van is moving around and vibrating. These old 1970s style sealed beam bulbs are about as good as a wet candle in a snowstorm, so I'm going to be upgrading everything to LEDs. And off camera, I wired up the front harness exactly like I did the rear. Once I finish running all the wires through the firewall, as well as being sure to connect 2 wires to the backup switch, I'll begin wiring everything up with alligator clips and testing everything out. Once everything tested out, I insulated the wires off camera, then ran the engine harness. And let's see if she works. And that's it for this episode. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to add me on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you next time on the conversion of Granny Grumman.